It is not just the early show, but the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley, also focusing on the unrest in the region all this week. Tonight's broadcast will take a look at the situation in Egypt. Now, some 4 months after protesters forced the longtime president to give up power. Scott Pelley joins us now with a preview. Nice to have you with us here in the morning.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
So tonight, as we mentioned on Evening News, you're going to take a look at Egypt. It's been about 4 months, just under, since Mubarak stepped down. There was so much concern at the time during this revolution about the Muslim Brotherhood, a party that had been banned in Egypt, seeing renewed now support. Is it ultimately going to be the Muslim Brotherhood who could, in fact, lead this country?
Well, even though the Muslim Brotherhood was banned, as you know, Erica, it was tolerated by the government, and therefore it became one of the best organized opposition groups in Egypt. Now, the reason some people are concerned about the Muslim Brotherhood is because since its founding back in 1928, it has been all about establishing what is known in Islam as the Caliphate. In other words, bringing back Islamic government, bringing back Islamic hegemony over that part of the region. So people are very concerned about that. Now, the vast majority of people in Egypt say that they are not concerned. In the polling that you read, the most reputable polls that we've seen, most folks in Egypt believe that they're going to have a secular government and it's not going to be involved in Islamic radicalism.
Scott, Elizabeth Palmer has a lengthy piece in the Evening News tonight. There's a doctor in that piece. What is the significance behind that doctor?
Well, we wanted to go back to Egypt to find out where we are at this point. We're sort of at the midpoint between the revolution and having a new president and a new parliament. That'll be coming up in the fall. So we sent Liz Palmer back to Egypt with her producer, Heather Abbott, to find one of the people that was in Tahrir Square who was involved in the revolution and find out what he believes is going to be happening next. And they found this doctor by the name of Abdul Rahman. And here's a little bit of what we'll be seeing from Elizabeth on the Evening News.
Back in February, millions of Egyptians took to the streets in a great popular uprising that toppled their corrupt government. 4 months on, we returned to find Dr. Islam Abdul Rahman now back at his day job. But when he's not in the operating room, he's become a democratic activist working deep down in the grassroots.
You're living what you fought for now.
Yes, yes. And as I told you, I am living what I fought for and what some of my best friends died for.
To him, that means the freedom to support any political party in Egypt's upcoming elections, including the Muslim Brotherhood, which was banned until recently as an extremist group. We joined Dr. Abdul Rahman on his new mission to mobilize the vote with open debate.
So that's part of what we'll see tonight.
That's right. It's really hard to overestimate the importance of Egypt to American interests in the region. Right there next to Israel, just across the Red Sea from the Arabian Peninsula, the American people have an enormous stake in what happens next in Egypt. And so that's why we're all following it so closely.
And that stake is really one not just for Egypt, but that can ripple across the Middle East, in fact, because of the U.S. relationship with Egypt and how that channels into the relationship with other countries.
Absolutely, yes. Egypt is going to be pivotal in the future of the region, and we're going to be having these elections coming up in the fall. There'll be an election for the parliament in September. There'll be an election for a new president in October. And the new changes they've just instituted in the Constitution mean that the president will only be able to serve 2 terms, but they're 2 8-year terms. That's a long time by American standards, but by Egyptian standards, that's a short term of office.
Well, Scott, we'd like to ask you about your new role at the CBS Evening News. 1 day down, many more days to go. And we also want to thank you for getting up early and joining us each and every morning here on the early show. I don't know.
It's nice that you're going to be here every day.
Didn't mean to scare you.
Great to be with you. They haven't told me about that part yet.
I hope Chris got your coffee right.
Sorry about that.
Absolutely.
But no, how did day one go?
It was great. We have such terrific people. I mean, there are people at the CBS Evening News who are working with me every day who worked with Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
We have the most experienced people in television news, as you know. And when you have those people working for you all day long, it's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you here with us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Continued success and congratulations.
Congratulations.
Great
Thanks,
to be
Scott.
with you.